This one irritates me. Okay. Single mom, daughter got accepted into a pre-K special education program. So that's important to remember. You work 7:30 and the session for her age group is either 8:30 to 11:30 or 11:30 to 2:30. They told me that she would be in the early one, but I told them I needed the 11:30 to 2:30 because it's based on who needs more care. Huh. Okay. Her current daycare said that they'd be happy to transport her to the program, so I don't have to leave work every day to transport her. They seem to not be willing to work with me, and if she can't go to the 8:30 session, she won't be able to attend and get none of the sessions. Who do you think I should go to? Every administrator sends me to another person, and nobody can give me answers. Who do you think I should go to? She is in, I'm not going to name the school system, but I'm very familiar with that school system. Let's talk about preschool services. And this is a preschool special education program. Now, you're in Alabama, so let me say this. There is something that the legislature funded millions of dollars a few years ago called the First Class Preschool Program. Okay, now it's open for all students, but it's a lottery system. So that includes special education students could potentially qualify to be part of the First Class Preschool. It runs all day. Okay, and of course, it comes with state funding, not special education funding. State funding. And goes up to a certain complement of students, and it pays for the teacher and it pays for one aide in the classroom. This is the First Class Preschool, okay? And this is for kids that do not have any disabilities. It's designed for kids with no disabilities. It's designed for neurotypical developing students, okay? That's important to remember. This is a state-funded program, and there are plenty in your school system. They also take advantage of that. Now, those programs, like I said, the First Class Preschool, if you end up having a child with an IEP, you luck out and they get their lottery numbers pulled, then there you go. So you wouldn't have an issue as a single working mother because, your daughter would be in their First Class Preschool all day, and that wouldn't be an issue. But your child qualifies for an IEP and is in preschool, a special education preschool. So let me tell you what. I could give a rat's ass, speaking Italian real quick, what their little time frames are for their morning and afternoon session. Doesn't matter to me. Could care less. That is wrong on its face. You don't sit there and have, a block of time in the morning and a block of time in the afternoon. And when, of course, there's first class preschools out there that the state funds that for neurotypical and non-IEP students that runs the entirety of a school day, equipped with an aide and a teacher. And then come back to you, whose child needs special education services, and they try to pigeonhole you and say, here's a 3-hour block, but we're going to choose this one and not this one, because this one is more for kids like this. The entire point of the eligibility process is for them to thoroughly evaluate your child. Once they thoroughly evaluate your child, they have a meeting with you based upon that to where they make an offer of a free, appropriate public education. It is different than a child that's kindergarten all the way up, okay? What's different is that once your child hits kindergarten, compulsory education comes in, truancy comes into play. So it's no longer an offer of FAPE. It's just they need to provide your child a FAPE because the presumption is your child's going to be in school all day because of compulsory education laws, truancy. Now, for preschool, because it's not mandatory, it's a negotiation, so to speak, with the family, with the parents, based upon things like whether you believe that your child is equipped to handle a preschool program. There are some parents that want home-based services because they don't believe that their child's matured enough for that kind of out-of-home experience. So even though the data may show that the child requires the full gambit of services, it just needs to be notated by the school that this was offered to the family, but the parents opted for this. Okay? That's what making an offer of FAPE or making FAPE available, that's where the difference is. It's a nuance, but it's a difference, a very big difference, though, for preschool children as opposed to older children. All right? So stay with me here. So when they evaluated her, initial evaluations, did they do a thorough enough job to where they got the diagnosis right, first and foremost? Or did they just half-ass it and do, let's say, a speech-language evaluation, or let's say a developmental assessment to where, you know, your child showed up as deficient in these areas. So therefore, they slapped an IEP together for developmental delay or something. But there's something bigger going on with your child. Let's say autism. And if that's the case, let's say, just say, for example, that it's autism spectrum disorder. The federal government funded a study years ago called Educating from the National Institute of Science, okay? Or National Academy of Science. So they ended up producing a very detailed, it's available, you can get a free PDF online if you Google what I'm about to say. It is called Educating Children with Autism. So that's what you'd put in the Google search, and they provide one free PDF of this study. And what do they recommend? They recommend a full-time preschool program of at least 24 hours, 25 hours a week. At least 25 hours a week. So your 3 hours, 5 days a week equates to 15 hours. Doesn't hit the mark. The other thing is you don't predetermine. You don't sit there and say, well, this is our block in the morning, this is our block in the afternoon. And regardless of how severe or how mild the child's disability needs are, we're pigeonholing you, we're predetermining what we're going to offer you based upon our convenience. It's called administrative convenience. It is a huge no-no. They can't do that. They have to make individualized decisions based upon the evaluative data. And if they did not do a good job with the evaluative data on the first step, then you have so many options ahead of you to sit there and correct this. And I'm telling you, you need to correct it. Don't let them do this. I mean, the other thing is, how freaking callous and heartless can you be to sit there and go, well, you know, we're all getting paid. As a single mother, you know, this kind of stuff, it is so just, it's callous. It's all I can, it's just so, it's brutal. And they don't care. I can't tell you how many meetings I'm in that, let's say, start in the afternoon, and you're talking about teachers sitting there going, I got to go pick up my kids. Oh, well, we don't want to inconvenience you. But when do they set parent meetings? The most inconvenient time. Do they care about when your child, or, you know, what you need? No. It is all about them in a lot of situations. And I'm not generalizing to sit there and throw all teachers and schools under the bus. I'm not. Because there are some great ones out there that do keep those things in mind. You just happen to be in one that you talk to this person, that person, well, I don't know. Well, you know, we can't do anything. Well, they do know, but they're misdirecting you so that you just shut up and stop asking questions, okay? But you do have options. And in fact, you know, this is one to where, honestly, if you would allow me and permit me, I would be happy to fix it for you. It's outrageous what's happening to you, and it can be fixed in short order. Very confident of that. Okay? Good for you for asking me, though, and good for you for suspecting that something was amiss. All right? You can fix this for your child and for yourself.